for better or for worse, people should get to know what happened.
After the fall of his business empire, Sam Bankman-Fried, once seen as the golden boy of crypto, is about to go on trial.
He is accused of basically lying to his customers, lying to his investors, and lying to lenders about what FTX was doing with customer funds.
On October 3rd, Bankman-Fried's trial on charges that he defrauded customers of billions of dollars will begin in a New York federal court. He has pleaded not guilty to all criminal charges. Here's what you need to know about the case and the man on trial. At 30 years old in 2022, Sam Bankman-Fried had founded two successful companies, a trading firm called Alameda Research he started in 2017, and a $32 billion cryptocurrency exchange called FTX that came 2 years later.
FTX and Alameda Research were run by an inner circle of Sam and his closest friends and colleagues. Caroline Ellison, who was the CEO of Alameda Research, Gary Wang, who was a co-founder of FTX and responsible for much of its technology, and Nishad Singh, who was the director of engineering at FTX. The upper management all lived together in a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas that cost $30 million.
Bankman-Fried was also a familiar face in the political scene on Capitol Hill. In February 2022, he testified at a Senate hearing where he encouraged better regulation of cryptocurrency markets.
It is the patchwork of regulation that there is simultaneously too many sort of cooks in the kitchen and yet not enough oversight.
Bankman-Fried personally made $40 million in donations ahead of the 2022 midterm elections. At one point, he was estimated to have a net worth of $15.6 billion.
He was one of the biggest, richest, and most successful people in crypto until last year, when everything collapsed.
In November 2022, a report from crypto website CoinDesk revealed that most of Alameda's assets were in FTX's tokens, setting off a run. But FTX wasn't able to meet the billions of dollars of withdrawals. Bankman-Fried stepped down as CEO, and shortly after, FTX filed for bankruptcy. In traditional finance, regulators require brokerages to segregate customer funds from any capital they use for trading. Cryptocurrency is still considered the Wild West, where the rules are murkier.
This is one of the biggest financial frauds in American history.
Bankman-Fried was arrested in mid-December in the Bahamas after the U.S. filed criminal charges including wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering.
Prosecutors are saying that he stole money from FTX customers to use for various purposes, including campaign donations and charitable causes, when that money should have been safe and secure at FTX.
Less than a year later, he's about to face a jury and his former inner circle, Caroline Ellison, Gary Wang, and Nishad Singh. All three have pleaded guilty to fraud charges and are expected to testify against Bankman-Fried.
Caroline's testimony will probably be very important in this trial because she was the head of Alameda Research, and she would have been closer to the actual trading strategies and Alameda investments than Sam was. So she would be in a position to say, yes, we took this money and used it for these purposes and knew that we were doing it, and here, this is what was Sam's role in that.
And Bankman-Fried could take the stand himself.
Sam is no ordinary defendant. After the collapse of FTX, he gave a whole lot of interviews, tweeted, started a Substack, and tried to defend himself publicly. So he might be inclined to try and testify in his own defense.
In an interview with the Journal last December, Bankman-Fried said he bore responsibility for the company's collapse, but did not knowingly commit any fraud.
I don't think that I did, I don't think I tried to commit fraud anywhere here. I was trying to do the best I could. Obviously, that wasn't nearly as good as I thought it was.
Bankman-Fried could face up to decades in prison if he's found guilty, and he has a trial for additional conspiracy and fraud charges tentatively scheduled for March 2024. The Securities and Exchange Commission and Commodity Futures Trading Commission also have pending civil suits against Bankman-Fried.
I think people in the crypto industry now want to sort of say, okay, that happened, but we're moving on. It will also be a landmark move for prosecutors and the government as they try.
So they are still trying to find an impartial and fair group of jurors. They're asking questions about, do you have any preconceptions about cryptocurrency or Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX? Also, any thoughts on things like ADHD that might affect Sam Bankman-Fried's body language, for example? They're asking the jurors about that as well. We're set to get opening arguments after that, and then also witness testimony. So some of the high-profile executives that have pleaded guilty are expected to testify. You've got Caroline Ellison, Gary Wong, and Nishad Singh, Sam Bankman-Fried's inner circle that has been cooperating with the prosecution.
So the FTX founders' trial kicked off Tuesday morning with a jury pool exceeding 50 people and around 40 reporters present. And as the trial stands currently, no jurors have been selected as of press time. The morning was spent weeding out potential jurors who face hardships if they had to sit for a 6-week trial.
Prosecutors are saying that this could be one of the largest cases of financial fraud in the history of the U.S. if Sam Bankman-Fried is found guilty. Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty to 7 counts of fraud and conspiracy. He is accused of essentially siphoning money from his cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, to a sister investment firm, hedge fund, Alameda.